Hello students, up to now we have seen different differential amplifiers using BJT, using FET and using MOSFETs. In this class we are going to discuss about the differential amplifier with an active load. Okay, so the differential amplifier with an active load for the BJT as well as MOSFET we are going to see in this class. Okay, what is meant by this active load? First of all, I will discuss the topic. So here active load in the sense, instead of normal resistors, we are going to use active elements as a loads. Okay, instead of using normal resistors, we are going to use some active elements as a load resistors. This is the differential amplifier circuit with an active load. In this circuit, you can observe that actually we will have the RC resistor in the place of Q3 and Q4, right? So here the Q1, Q2 are forming the differential amplifier, and Q3 and Q4, instead of Q3 and Q4 we have resistors in the old BJT differential amplifier circuit, but here we have the Q3 and Q4 active elements. Okay, these are all the transistors which we are going to use like a resistors here. How we can use the transistors as a resistors? If you draw the output characteristics curve for the transistors, which is a VCE versus IC curve, there is a slope 1 by R naught, which is called as output conductance. That output conductance is 1 by R naught, where that small R naught is called as output resistance. That output resistance we will use like a resistor in this place. Okay, here we are using active element as a resistor. That's why it is called as active loads. Here this circuit is a BJT differential amplifier circuit in which we are using the BJT active loads. Let us see the active loads are essentially transistor current source used in the place of resistive loads. Okay, here we are going to use the transistor current sources. Actually this circuit is called as a current mirror circuit. Here Q3, Q4 and Q5 are forming the current mirror. In the current mirror circuits, input current is equal to the output current. Okay, which means that output current is in a mirror image of the input current. Therefore, in this circuit we can say I3 is equal to I4. That is a mirror image of the input current. Okay, so here IB5 is the base current of the transistor 5, IE5 is the emitter current of the transistor 5, and I3 is the collector current of the Q3, I4 is the collector current of the Q4, and I1 is the collector current of the Q1, I2 is the collector current of the Q2 transistor. In this one, you can observe that this Q5 transistor was biased with a negative supply voltage V minus, and we are operating this differential amplifier in the common mode of operation, so that we are applying VB1, VB2 is equal to VCM, and there is a constant current source IQ which was connected to the emitter terminals and which was biased with V minus voltage. Okay, so the two supply voltages for this differential amplifier circuit is V plus and V minus. Actually, the differential amplifier is one of the element in the operational amplifier. Okay, in the first stage of the operational amplifier circuit, we are going to use this differential amplifier. After this differential amplifier circuit in the operational amplifier, we use further more amplification stages in order to reach the required gain. Okay, therefore the differential amplifier output will be given to the next stage. Here the second stage was given like a gain stage. The gain stage may be some differential amplifier, or else it may be some Darlington pair amplifier to provide the current gain. Let us see the differential amplifier with an active load circuit corresponding to the 3 transistor current source. Here Q3, Q4, Q5 are forming the current source. We know one thing, the current source offers very high resistance. That high resistance we are going to use like a load resistor in our circuit. The current I0 is a DC bias current from the gain stage. Okay, so here you can observe I0 is the output current of this differential amplifier, which is the input current for the gain stage. And assuming that we are operating our differential amplifier in the common mode configuration, therefore VB1 is equal to VB2 is equal to VCM. We know that in the transistors, IE emitter current is equal to the IC current. Okay, emitter current is equal to the collector current. IC. Therefore, whatever is the emitter current of the Q1, that will be equal to I1 current, okay, which is the collector current of this Q1 transistor. And at the emitter node, we have the two currents, okay. We at the emitter node we have the two incoming currents. Those are, one is from this Q1 transistor, another one is from the Q2 transistor. But these two transistors are identical transistor, therefore the both emitter currents are equal. Therefore IE1 is equal to emitter current of the first transistor will be equal to the emitter current of the second transistor. Therefore these two, IE1 plus IE2, will becomes as a IQ current. IQ current is a leaving current. Therefore we can say IQ is evenly dividing for the each transistor emitter current. Therefore the emitter current at the Q1 is IQ by 2 and emitter current at the Q2 is IQ by 2. That is the currents of the emitters. And also from the relationship of IE is equal to IC, we can say IE1 is equal to IE2 is equal to I1, okay, I1 that is equal to I2. Both are, these all are equal to IQ by 2. Therefore I1 will be equal to IQ by 2 and I2 also equal to IQ by 2 because of these similar transistors we are using for the Q1 and Q2. Okay, emitter current is equal to the collector current. At this node, if you assume the two incoming currents and one outgoing current, I3 is the collector current of the Q3 and it is getting added with the base current of the Q5 and then forming I1. Therefore, we can write I1 is equal to I3 plus IB5. Okay, if you neglect the current of the IB5, then we can say I1 is equal to I3. Okay, similarly, at this output side node, I4 current plus I0 current will becomes as a I2 current. If you neglect the I0 current, we can say I2 is equal to I4. Okay, in order to balance this differential amplifier circuit, we have to make I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I3 is equal to I4. Okay, these all currents should be same for the balancing of this circuit. But here we have only one constraint. Actually I1 is equal to I2 because here I1 is equal to IQ by 2, I2 is equal to IQ by 2. There is no problem with I1 and I2, but we have some problem with I3 and I4 equal. So because the currents IB5 and I0 may not be negligible. Okay, so we need to find out the value of the IB5 and I0 currents. In order to balance this circuit, we have to equate the I0 current with the IB5. Okay, whenever we equate this I0 current is equal to IB5, we can say the circuit will be balanced. Okay, here we have a provision to change the value of the I0 by changing the input resistance of the gain stage. We can get the different values of the I0 current. Okay, this IB5 we can't change, but we can change the I0 current which is equal to the IB5. In order to calculate the IB5, I am going to start with this node, okay, which is a base node for the Q3 and Q4 and which is the emitter node for the Q5 transistor. Therefore, IE5 is equal to, here the incoming currents are IB1 and IB4 and IE5 is the outgoing current. Therefore, outgoing current IE5 is equal to IB3 plus IB4. We know one relationship in the transistors which is IC is equal to beta times of the IB current. Okay, and from this relation we can write IB is equal to what? IC divided by beta. Okay, in order to get the IB3 current, I can use IC by beta equation. Okay, therefore IB3 is equal to IC3 divided by IB. Instead of IC3, here we have I3 current. Therefore, IC3 can be written as I3 divided by beta. Okay, this IB3 was written like I3 divided by beta. And similarly, this IB4 current can be written as IB4 is equal to IC4 divided by beta. Instead of IC4, we have I4. Therefore, we can write IB4 is equal to I4 divided by beta, which is the collector current divided by the beta. Now I am going to write this base current IB5. Okay, and we know one more relationship in the transistors. This emitter current is a combination of the base current plus collector current. Okay, and from this one, IB plus IC can be written as beta times of IB, and from this one we can common the IB, which is a 1 plus beta. Okay, that is the value of the IE, and here from this one we can write IB is equal to IE divided by 1 plus beta, that is the value of the base current in terms of the emitter current. So now I am using this relationship in order to relate this IE5 and IB5 equations, and we know that IB5, the base current of the Q5 transistor, which is equal to emitter current divided by 1 plus beta. So from this relationship we have written, and we know IE5 is equal to what, ma? I3 by beta plus I4 by beta. Therefore, we can write this one as I3 plus I4 divided by beta. Okay, so instead of IE5, I am going to substitute I3 plus I4 divided by beta. Therefore, IB5 is equal to I3 plus I4 divided by beta into 1 plus beta. That is the value of the IB5. Okay, we got the value of IB5. Now I am going to represent this IB5 in terms of the known currents. Okay, here the known current is IQ current, which is a constant current source current. Okay, and if the base currents of I0 are very small, then we can say I3 plus I4 is equal to IQ. Actually, we have written the emitter currents which are equal to IQ by 2 and IQ by 2. Therefore, the currents at the collector terminal and emitter terminal are equal. Therefore, I1 is equal to I2 is equal to IQ by 2, and also we know one relationship, I1 is equal to I3 and I2 is equal to I4 whenever we neglect the value of the I0 currents. Okay, I0 current and IB5 current, we can say I2 is equal to I4 and I3 is equal to I1. Therefore, from this relation, I1 is equal to, we know I1 is equal to IQ by 2. That is the value of this emitter current as well as the collector current of the Q1. And we know I2, which is the collector current of the Q2, which is equal to the emitter current, which is IQ by 2. Okay. Therefore, we can say I3 is equal to IQ by 2, I4 is equal to IQ by 2. That will becomes IQ. Therefore, in the above equation, instead of I3 plus I4, we can substitute the IQ value. Okay, so IB5 is equal to IQ divided by beta into 1 plus beta. That is the value of the IB5. Now we need to equate this IB5 value as I0 so as to balance this circuit. Okay, and for the circuit to be balanced, that is for I1 is equal to Y2 and I3 is equal to I4, we need to equate I0 output current or the input current of the gain stage, which is equal to the base current of the fifth transistor, that is equal to IQ by beta times of 1 plus beta. Okay, that is the value of the input current of the gain stage. Now from the above equation, the second amplifying stage or the gain stage, okay, must be designed and biased such that the direction of the DC bias current is shown in the figure. Okay, so like that it should be from right to left, and which is equal to the result of the above equation. Therefore, we need to select the second stage. Input current I0 is equal to this value so as to balance this circuit. Okay, this is about the differential amplifier with an active load for the BJT. Next, we are going to see this for the differential amplifier with an active load for MOSFET. Okay, we know this is a MOSFET differential amplifier circuit. In this one, M1 and M2 are forming the differential amplifier configuration, and M3 and M4 acting as an active loads for this differential amplifier circuit. So here we can observe one thing. Here M1 and M2 are the NMOS transistors and M3 and M4 are the PMOS transistors. Okay, this direction of this arrow mark on the source is indicating that one. Here M1 and M3 are forming one CMOS circuit because the combination of the NMOS and CMOS is called as CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Therefore, M1 and M3 is a one set which is forming one CMOS circuit, and M2 and M4 are forming another CMOS circuit. Okay, here we can say the drain currents are equal for the circuit to be balanced. Okay, here ID1 should be equal to ID3 and ID2 should be equal to ID4 in order to balance the circuit. Here we need not to worry about the current flowing in the gate circuit because the gate currents are equal to 0. Okay, the IC currents are very negligible because of the high input impedance of these MOSFETs. Okay, IC is equal to 0. So here we can say the load circuit is consists of transistors M3 and M4. Both are p-channel devices which are connected in the current mirror configuration. Okay, here Q3 and Q4 are the loads which are the p-channel MOSFET which are connected in the current mirror configuration. Here you can say output was one-sided output, which means that we are going to take the output across only one transistor drain terminal. Okay, here we are going to take the output voltage across the M2 drain terminal. Okay, so as this drain terminal of the M2 is common for M4 and M2, both drains are joined, and at this terminal we are going to take the output voltage. When a common mode voltage of V1 is equal to V2 is equal to Vsame is applied. Okay, so here we are assuming V1 is equal to V2 is equal to Vcm. We are joining the V1 and V2 terminals and we are applying the same voltage Vcm, the common mode input voltage for this differential amplifier. Therefore, we can say that ID1 is equal to ID2, and the source currents of this M1 and M2 transistors has been given as IQ by 2 and IQ by 2. Here M1 is equal to M2, which means that both are identical transistors. Therefore, the source currents are equal. Here the two source currents are IQ by 2 and IQ by 2. So, which are getting added here and then forming IQ current. Okay, and in the MOSFET, we can approximate the source currents as drain currents. Okay, in the MOSFET, we can say IS is approximately equal to ID. Therefore, the source current is equal to the drain current. IS1 is equal to ID1, which is equal to IQ by 2. Similarly, IS2 is equal to ID2, which is equal to IQ by 2. Okay, therefore we can say ID1 is equal to ID2 is equal to IQ by 2. And we know that the current through the gate of the circuit is approximately 0 or negligible current. Therefore, we can say ID3 is equal to ID1. ID3 is equal to ID1. Similarly, ID4 is equal to ID2 when we neglect the output current. Therefore, we can say that ID1 is equal to ID2 is equal to ID3 is equal to ID4 is equal to IQ by 2. All currents are equal. And in this case, we are assuming that we are applying some differential input voltage. Okay, which means that the differential input voltage Vd is equal to V1 minus V2, which is the differential input voltage of this differential amplifier. When we apply this differential input voltage, the drain currents will be like ID1 is equal to the DC quiescent current plus some AC current, and ID2 is equal to DC quiescent current and some AC drain current. So here, based on the V1 and V2 voltages, we will get IQ by 2 plus ID and IQ by 2 minus ID, like that. Here the negative sign indicates that change in current direction in the M2 transistor, because here we are applying the two different voltages. If you say V1 is equal to Vd by 2 and V2 is equal to minus Vd by 2, like that. Okay, if we apply like that, then we will get the drain currents like this, and we know that the drain current ID, which will be equal to GMVD divided by 2, because the input voltage is Vd by 2. Therefore, we can get Gm into Vd by 2, the conductance into the input voltage, that is the drain current. Therefore, we can say ID3 is equal to ID1 is equal to this one, IQ by 2 plus ID, that is the ID1 or ID3 drain currents. And as per the current mirror rule, the output current is a mirror image of the input current. Therefore, ID4, output current ID4 is equal to the input current ID3. Therefore, ID4 is equal to ID3 is equal to IQ by 2 plus ID. Like that we can derive. Okay, and here we are going to calculate the differential gain of this MOSFET differential amplifier circuit. For that, I am going to draw only output side circuit of the combination of M2 and M4. The output side equivalent circuit of this M4 MOSFET will contains GMVD by 2 current source along with the internal drain resistance small r04. Okay, here the 4 indicates that the M4 transistor. Similarly, for the M2 transistors, we will have GMVD by 2 current source along with the R02 internal drain resistance. Okay, here the 2 indicates that the second MOSFET M2. Okay, the direction of the currents, as it is the PMOS, the direction should be like this. As it is the NMOS, the direction is like this. Okay, and we are going to take the output voltage between the common drain terminal of these M4 and M2 transistors. Okay, so like this we have the equivalent circuit. There are the two ground nodes here. We can combine the two ground nodes so as to get a rearranged circuit. Okay, here GMVD by 2 is the one current and GMVD by 2 is the another incoming current, and R04 and R02 are in the parallel combination after rearranging this circuit. Therefore, output voltage V0 is a voltage across the parallel combination of this R02 and R04 resistances. And here the two currents are getting added here. This GMVD by 2 and this GMVD by 2 are getting added. Therefore, we can write output voltage is equal to the current into resistance, which is the 2 GMVD by 2 into R02 parallel R04. Therefore, V0 will be equal to the total current 2 into GMVD by 2 into R02 parallel R04. In this equation, we can cancel the 2. Therefore, the output voltage will be equal to GMVD into R02 parallel R04. Okay, and we know the differential mode gain AD is equal to what? Output voltage divided by the differential mode input voltage. Okay, V0 is available in the left hand side. We can take this VD to the right hand side to get V0 divided by VD equation. Therefore, at the right hand side we have GM into R02 parallel R04. That is the differential mode gain. Therefore, the small signal differential mode voltage gain can be given as AD is equal to V0 divided by VD, that is equal to GM into R02 parallel R04. And here we can write this R02 parallel R04 like 1 by R02 plus 1 by R04. As we know that R1 parallel R2, which can be written as 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 like that. Okay, so these are in the combination of R1 parallel R2, so that we can write them like 1 by R02 plus 1 by R04 like that. Here the R02 is a resistance, therefore 1 by R02 is a conductance. Therefore, we can write 1 by R02 like the G02, which is the conductance, and the 1 by R04 like G04, which is the conductance of the fourth transistor. And we know that the transconductance Gm is equal to 2 into square root of Kn into Id, and in this equation, if you take this 2 to the inside of the root, that will becomes 4. And we know Id, the drain current which will be equal to Iq by 2. Therefore, 2 and 4, okay, divides and which becomes 2. Therefore, which can be written like square root of 2 Kn Iq, which is the transconductance of our MOSFET. And output conductance of the second transistor can be written as lambda 2 into IDQ2. Okay, IDQ2, and this can be written as lambda 2 into IQ by 2 because IDQ is equal to IQ by 2. Similarly, G04 is equal to lambda 4 IDQ4, therefore which can be written like lambda 4 IQ by 2. When we substitute these three values like GM value and this G02 value and G04 value in this above equation, we can get the differential gain AD is equal to 2 into square root of 2 kn by iq into 1 by lambda 2 plus lambda 4. That is the differential gain of the MOSFET differential amplifier, where kn is the conductance parameter, where lambda is the channel modulation factor. Okay, so now we have seen the differential amplifier for the active load for the BJT as well as MOSFET. In the next class, we are going to see the Darlington pair and simple emitter follower circuits.